have nothing to fear from the people of the Milky Way.
But do you have anything to offer?
Our wisdom, our knowledge.
We have plenty of that on our own.
Of course. And you also have food, water.
This is how all those worlds look from the Nexus. We forget how beautiful they are.
It's just not fair.
Well, wisdom and...
Species are at odds as talks break down over a unified curriculum.
Excuse me, Pathfinder. I don't know where else to turn. My best friend's been missing since the revolts.
Tell me.
He was involved with a woman who was exiled. She obsessed over him, and I'm sure she kidnapped him. The powers that be don't buy it and don't care. They say most likely he went willingly.
That is a distinct possibility.
He was like a brother to me. He would have told me. The Initiative has branded him a traitor. I don't want that to be his legacy. I want to clear his name, Sanjeev Clement. The woman was Delaney Roos. She must have taken him to Kadara.
Pathfinder, those names match a log we found. Clement tried to escape, and Roos killed him.
We've already heard tell of him. I'm sorry your friend didn't make it.
I knew it. Poor Sanjeev.
It's small consolation, but I relayed the record to Director Tan. Sanjeev's name will be cleared.
That matters. I'd already made peace with the idea that I'd never see him again. I'm so grateful.
Hydroponics reports oxygen production is nominal. The bar opens on the next.
Good to see you.
Attention, civil disobedience has been reported in hydroponics. Security is investigating. I'm sorry, lad. We're just trying to boost our morale. Apex personnel, please check your duty roster for important updates. Correct. Pathfinder,
Talk to you later, Davis.
I'll be here. Attention, civil disobedience has been reported.
So that's what the Kett are up to, transforming people into willing slaves?
Now we know why they take so many prisoners.
Well, they're sure as hell not taking any more.
I need to talk to you about stasis revival and those protesters in hydroponics.
I see. Maybe I should get the others for this.
Protesters have seized hydroponics?
They want their families out of stasis. The outpost on Eos disrupted the schedule. They're scattered across colony blocks. Dozens of people. The protesters want this fixed today.
The realities of our position are...
We can't wake those families. We don't have the resources, and there's nowhere to put them.
We settled Eos. There's no space down there for a few extra...
It's not that simple, Ryder. Everything Eos produces right now is accounted for.
And if we send soldiers to a research outpost, there'll be trouble.
What do you suggest?
Leave the families in stasis where it's safe and get those protesters out of hydroponics. They seem sympathetic, but so did the exiles. We can't risk another revolt. Survival is more important than family reunions.
What would you do with the protesters?
I'd send in a squad and march them out. At gunpoint if we must. If they resist, a few might land in medbay, but it's better than losing hydroponics. Or the Nexus.
Do you think these protests could turn violent?
We're all pioneers. Even civilians are tough enough to start something.
And interfering in hydroponics threatens our oxygen supply. They know that.
These people aren't the enemy. We didn't come all this way to rip families apart. We'll manage the resource squeeze somehow.
Your compassion is admirable, but
Guess we're all tightening our belts.
You can run a stasis override command from operations. I hope the rest will be that easy.
Well, those families are out of stasis. I know because we're cutting rations for Apex.
My decision's made, Kandros.
And now everyone thinks protesting is how we get stuff done. Excuse me.
Weekly injury report. Minimum casualties. A good week.
Must be approved beforehand. Hydroponics reports oxygen production is nominal. Authorities continue work to establish contact with our Milky Way descendants. As of now, beacons confirming arrival in Helios remain unanswered. This is HNS.
Pathfinder?
What about your family?
I'm an orphan. My parents died on the Mindoir colony when it was attacked years ago. No siblings. I left some friends and distant relatives behind, but I have friends here too. I love piloting. But I like the idea of going back to my roots and farming like my parents did. Someday.
Why did you join the initiative?
The most popular question on the station. Honestly, I wouldn't have known about this project if Nozomi hadn't reached out to me.
Nozomi?
Captain Dunn. Of all the captains I've piloted for, she's the best. I've always been a wanderer at heart. When she asked me to be her pilot, how could I say no to the adventure of a lifetime?
How do you feel about all this, now that we're here?
Hopeful. I know it's a rose-colored outlook, but even with everything that's going on, someone's got to keep the positivity coming, right?
Have to go now. See you later.
Later.
Welcome back, Ryder.
That's all for now.
Of course.
An expedition to Eos in the Pythia system has discovered a mysterious facility that authorities are calling a vault. Though not much yet is known about the underground structure, it's believed to be remnant in origin. Noted Asari scientist Pelisaria Basale.
What we activated in the vault drastically improved the atmosphere on Eos.
This is HNS.
I don't care what she says.
I don't know about
We
this
can't
Angara.
work these hours.
A ray of hope for sleep-starved residents. Maintenance begins
Will's been asking if you can come by.
I thought I hated the Ket before. Then we learned about exaltation. I can't even begin to imagine how Jal feels about this.
I was curious about you and Sid, being on your own from such a young age.
Yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Back on Palaven, I suppose. She was an awful person. All she cared about was climbing the ranks. She and my dad fought all the time. I think at the end they hated each other. When things were really tough, I thought about going back. But she wouldn't have accepted us. Whatever my dad did destroyed any chance of that.
Where was home? Palaven?
No, we'd already left Palaven by then. Whatever our dad was involved in meant we weren't welcome there. I hadn't even gone to boot camp yet. Sid was barely a year old. We eventually settled in a mining colony in the Minos wasteland. 2 years later, our dad was gone.
How did he keep you and your sister afloat?
I was barely more than a kid myself, so lots of unskilled work. Construction jobs. No one else would do the dangerous stuff, so I would. Being up high, crawling under things. I could shoot a gun, so eventually I moved into smuggling. Even more dangerous, but lucrative. We were never rich, but we got to comfortable.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
No poker tonight. Reports. Lots of them.
But Lieutenant, you can't possibly lose 3 in a row.
I know what you're trying to do, and I hate that it's working.
How you gonna spend your fortune, Gil? Ryder, you meet Spender yet? Colonial Affairs, the ass in Assistant Director. Got no idea why Addison keeps him around. Spender lied to the Krogan during the uprising, and he's headed out for cash ever since. He's up to something. I just can't prove it. We should pay him a visit on the Nexus.
What's it like to have Kesh as a granddaughter?
Kesh is my Rushan, child of my blood. Raised her myself. Damn proud of her, too. She did good, even with me for a granddad.
I'm still getting to know her.
There's no Krogan like my Rushan. She's worth knowing.
Did Lexi brief you on Sam and squad connectivity yet?
Yeah. You want to hook that thing up to my comms, sure, but that's where it stops. Putting an AI in your head, giving it access to everything like that, it's begging for trouble.
Why do you say that?
I've seen what bots can do when they turn on their creators. Been in some of those fights. There's a reason that kind of research was outlawed.
Yeah, my peacekeeping career went up in smoke when news of what my dad was researching got out.
No shit. Ruined the Ryder name, I'll bet.
Almost. I'm not thrilled about it myself, but it is what it is.
Just make sure it can't unshackle itself. There'll be hell to pay if that happens.
I'd like to know more about you.
Fire away.
How did you and Vetra meet?
Huh, that's right. Your father brought you into the project pretty late, didn't he? Must have been a pretty steep learning curve since they thawed you out.
You could say that.
You make do with what you get. Anyway, I met Vetra back when we were building the Nexus. She swiped supplies I was trying to get for Kesh right under my nose. I tried to intimidate her into turning them over to me, and let me tell you, that Turian takes shit from no one.
She really has a way of getting things done.
She sure does. But here's the best part. She waited until I saw her again in Kesh's office, no less, to tell me she'd been working for Kesh all along. They're both still laughing at me over that.
Tell me more about the Krogan colony.
My clan's there. We also got some scouts looking for any unclaimed territory to grab up. Got a decent setup going, self-sustainable, the works. Even some farming.
Farming? Krogan farm?
Food's food. Just because we can eat anything doesn't mean we gotta settle for scraps. I'm pretty fond of Corcrow roots myself. Takes a while to chew through those.
So, about all this combat experience you have, I'd love some details.
Ha! The list will be shorter if you ask me what experience I don't have. I've been doing this for a long time now. Centuries. Shit, well over 1,000 years. Don't even know how I'm still alive, to be honest.
Skill?
You need luck to be a merc. Skill, sure, but a whole lot of luck. And a really hard head.
Why did the Krogan leave the Nexus?
The Nexus got us Krogan to stop the mutiny. In return, we were supposed to get a say in station business. Spender, Addison's assistant, lied about the deal, and Tan came down hard. Too hard. So we left. Kesh is alone on that station now.
Do you think Kesh can handle station politics?
Kesh can handle anything. Thing is, Spender's a liar and a coward. He was part of the mutiny, I know he was. A lot of people got hurt because of him, on both sides.
So what's my part in this?
Things need to get sorted out and my clan needs to get back on station, without Spender messing things up. Way I see it, you're probably the best one for that job.
Got any stories or advice to share?
Does a pyjack scratch its butt?
Anything about the Ket? Or combat in general?
Well, common Ket are pretty straightforward. Hit them hard enough, they die like anything else.
Tell me more about fighting Ket.
Wraiths are sneaky little shits, like to ghost up behind you when you least expect it. Just listen for them. They tend to give themselves away right before coming at you. Break through their head plates, then a headshot should do the trick.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
Hey, one last thing.
Yeah?
Is everyone a kid to you?
Ha, when you get to be my age, yeah, pretty much.
Hey there.
Hey yourself.
Question for you.
Shoot.
When all this craziness is over, you think you'll have kids?
Why is that on your mind?
Jill, the best friend I mentioned while I was thrashing you at poker. She's starting the Initiative's first repopulation effort at Prodromos. It's all she can talk about. It got me thinking. At the end of the day, this whole thing, the Andromeda Initiative, we're basically here to spawn.
Those of us lucky enough to live through this.
Exactly. And there aren't that many to start. We're a disaster or two away from not having enough numbers to survive. Jill's right. At some point soon, we better get busy making babies.
True enough.
Who knew this thing was just a glorified dating service? Eesh. The biological imperative is kind of a bummer.
So, you want to have a child of your own?
I don't know. That's never been a thing for me. You know me. Whatever my gut says in the moment, I do, and I don't look back. My mom says that's how my dad was. I wouldn't know. His gut moved on before I was born.
In a way, that sounds like my dad.
That's not fair. He kept you close, made sure you and your brother came here with him, and he died for you.
Yes, but the other decisions he made kept him at a distance. That can be just as bad.
I see that. Still, without our fathers, we wouldn't be here. They brought us into this world. Maybe that's enough. Thanks for talking, Ryder.
I got a copy of the Nexus's movie library.
Thanks. I'll look through it. It's probably all agricultural learning vids, but there might be something good. I'll keep you posted.
Yes?
I'll let you get back to it.
I'll be here if you need me.
Liam says he's planning a movie night.
That's the idea.
He's putting it off because it didn't seem right after seeing the exaltation facility. But now there's a delay. I had a thought. Every vid's better with snacks, right? I found an Angaran recipe for these little morsels you can make from a local Helios plant, but it's rare and...
You want me to look for one?
Oh, would you? I'd love to, you know, be social and things.
find more of your own people?
We discovered the first relay. What is? They're curious.
You found humans? Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Any news?
I'm not selling to aliens.
Right.
New clientele is always welcome here. Have a look. I'm sure you'll find something to your taste.
The sales pitch is good, but it's the follow-through that matters.
I'll let my inventory speak for itself.
Whatever you're making, I have something to help.
Doing okay?
Who knew saving a respected member of Angaran society would open so many doors? I've been talking to some of their traders, seeing if we can work things out.
On sale right here. Make them your own.
We have to be careful not to trade away too much of what the Nexus needs.
Trust me, I'm running everything by cash.
I never thought I'd see the Moshlai again. Least of all thanks to you. Visit me for Welcome to the marketplace. I am Arbiter Renov. I enforce correct conduct between merchants and customers, resolving any disputes. As the first outsider to enter the city, you are ignorant of our laws. We should change that.
Who decides what happens to people who break the law?
It depends on the grievance. I settle minor offenses right here. More serious ones require a tribunal.
Where I'm from, the biggest trade law is don't cheat. Is it different here?
I suspect we define cheating differently. What is unfair changes based on perspective.
Put a layer of security between yourself and...
I don't want to cause any trouble. How do I learn your laws?
I'll transmit a full readout. Familiarize yourself with the contents. Personal responsibility is a core foundation of our society. We expect it from everyone.
Understood.
Please visit my colleagues in the Governor's office and the Resistance headquarters. They'll teach you about our culture and what it means to walk freely among us. Your understanding is critical. It would be unfortunate if you accidentally violated our laws.
Goods for the home, tools for the field, supplies for all your needs. Your credits are as good as anyone else's. Don't start any trouble and we're fine.
Fresh power potion.
I can do that.
With your friends.
Good to hear.
Veteran? I was there when you landed. Watched you get escorted through the city.
Bet that was a sight.
You were an unexpected outsider. Not really a laughing matter.
I've never seen fruit like this before. What are these?
Paripo. Sweet with a little bite. Sometimes if I'm lucky, I have a few Kiloa or Elmok.
Is fruit scarce here?
In this form, yes. Very expensive. If you buy a Paripo from me, it means you have something to celebrate. It's a luxury, meant to be shared with friends and family.
I'll get moving.
Store's open.
Welcome to the Taverton. Feel free to order a drink, or if you're hungry, we have nutrient paste. Not as exciting as fresh fruit, but you'll like it.
What's in that stuff?
In short, everything. Nearly all the food we grow goes straight into processing. We can feed an entire planet in a single harvest. Even ship some off-world.
If we used your system, we'd never have a food shortage.
If you want, I can send a few samples to your ship. Your people can study it.
The Nexus would love that.
Consider it done.
What does Taverton mean? My translator won't pick it up.
It depends on the context. If it's a person, it means an old friend. If it's a location, like this, it's more a place you could bring someone home to.
What if you need to meet your Taverton at the Taverton?
It's not so hard to understand. I'm sure your language has its quirks.
Don't get me started. I'd like a drink. That's all for now.
We'll come back anytime.
Helping the Moshai opened a lot of doors around here. Most Angara still keep their distance, though.
Well, you are a bit of an eyesore.
Speak for yourself. When I saw my first human, I couldn't understand how you keep your blood inside. Skin that thin.
Real change in tone after that care facility. Half the Angara are thankful, half are even more suspicious.
Let's try not to make it worse.
Don't worry about me. They're busy glaring at Cora for some reason.
I'm so glad you're back.
Not now. I'm calculating the antioxidant content of this irrigation system.
We got word from Eladin.
Good news? Good to see you again.
Any insight you can give me on the remnant tech?
We don't know much. To our understanding, it's always been here. Stars. I would love to be the one to solve that mystery.
Is it normal for someone as young as you to be in charge?
I'm no younger than you. And you're a Pathfinder.
I kinda inherited the job.
So did I. I was apprenticed to the former curator. It was my job to bring him artifacts from other worlds. When he retired, I sort of fell into his position.
Do you miss relic hunting?
Some days, but mostly I'm happy to spend more time with each piece.
This is quite a place.
It feels like home to me. Sometimes I think I should move in here. But it's got a long way to go. Someday we'll fill it with relics of the past, each one telling a story. And the people will come here to learn. And to remember.
You'll get there.
With enough hard work, yes.
I should get moving.
Come back soon.
Oh, it's you. I watched you land.
Hope you're not calling me it anymore.
You heard that. I apologize. I was ignorant.
I'll leave you to it.
Ryder, they've got amazing Remtech research going on here. I love seeing our Milky Way peeps mingling with the Angara. It's early in our interspecies relationship, but I hope we can build on the momentum.
Any one of a million things could happen, and whoops, the neighbors hate us.
So, don't go joyriding with the Nomad, huh? Obey the street signs? You're doing a great job, really. Keep up the good work.
I've heard so much about you. Is it true you entered a vault on Eos?
Sure is.
Amazing. I would have liked to see that.
I'll let you get back to it.
Next Ambassador Ryder appears to be settling nicely into her office. Pathfinder, I'm Enro Bosan, assistant to the governor. As you can imagine, your arrival raised concerns from Aya's people.
I thought I'd proven they have nothing to worry about.
You are one person. They want the Nexus to hear our voices. We've set up terminals in the city so people can leave messages for your people on the Nexus. I'd appreciate if you take a look and forward their communications to your people.
Arbiter Renav told me to expect you. I prepared a datapad detailing our laws. Read it fully.
Ambassador, I trust our people had a smooth transition to Aya.
The Angara have been gracious. Everything's going well.
Good. Keep me updated. 10 out.
I've never lied to a director before.
Pathfinder, it's a pleasure. I'm Ambassador Ryder, Chief Diplomat for the Initiative on Aya. I was removed from Cryo specifically for this. Quite the wake-up call.
I know what it's like, jumping out of the cryopod and into the fire.
You've had it far worse. My condolences on your loss. I hear you're to thank for our new ties with Aya. This is our best shot at an alliance. Now we just need to keep our people from wrecking it, no matter how hard they try.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
No more than I do. A Solarian botanist named Sorvis Len is here, learning how to improve our crops. He sent an urgent comm, saying a member of the Angaran resistance had threatened him.
What happened?
I'm not sure. Sorvis is an excellent scientist, but not the best communicator. I'm concerned this could escalate if someone doesn't look into it, but I don't have the staff to spare.
I can go settle things. I'm a friendly face for both sides.
That would be helpful. With any luck, we can prevent this from getting worse.
How many of our people have they let into the city?
A strictly limited number, and only certain professions. Scientists, engineers, and scholars. The Angara have agreed to allow some of our people to work in Aya's research facilities.
That's huge.
It's more than I expected. Tan wants me to push for social visits, but I'm holding my ground. We need to move at their pace. They've been extraordinarily gracious, all things considered. I'll take whatever they're willing to give.
Aside from Sorvis Len, is everything okay? Need anything else?
Actually, yes. Director Tan gave me a project. He wants more Aya natives to live on the Nexus. He thinks it will deepen our partnership. A few Angara expressed interest, but none of them will agree to live on the Nexus without speaking to you first.
Why me?
After what you've accomplished? I didn't want to bother you, but you asked. I'll point you towards the candidates. If you could convince them to transfer, I'd be grateful.
What's our end goal for Aya?
A strong alliance is all we can ask for. It's what we're working toward. Helios is the Angara's home. They dictate the terms of this partnership, not us. We need them as allies, and they could benefit from us. But we have to tread lightly.
Show them we're not invaders.
Historically, when two civilizations meet, one consumes or destroys the other. We need to break that cycle.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
When I first escorted you through our city, I wasn't sure it was the right thing, but you proved I was wrong to doubt. No, more than that. You didn't have to save the captives from exaltation. I wonder if you realize what that meant to us.
We're in this together. The Initiative wants to help.
I want to believe it. You're so different from the Ket. What can I do for you?
I'm hoping you can help me get on Ephra's good side.
If I knew how to do that, My job would be much simpler.
Sometimes it seems like you two don't get along at all, and other times...
He's a brilliant tactician and inspiring leader. We just disagree on what's best for our people. He believes secrecy and isolation keep us safe.
What do you believe?
We can't defeat the Ket alone, and neither can your initiative.
I have a few questions about your culture.
I'm happy to answer them.
I've noticed that you, Ephra, and Jal all speak with different accents.
When the Scourge first struck, there were many Angaran worlds. They were separated for centuries. We developed divergent cultures and dialects. Ephra was born on Vold, and Jal is from Havarl.
What about you?
The Ket left my homeworld in ruins. Those who survived were forced to flee. We found a refuge on Aya. My family helped settle this world.
Aya seems important to the Angara.
Aya is paradise. This world is a gift. We created the Vassals so everyone could enjoy this place, if only for a short time.
The Vassal?
The time of change. Aya's resources are too limited for our entire population to live here. We each earn the privilege of spending a few years on Aya. When our time is up, we leave to make room for someone new. The cycle repeats throughout our lives.
Will you have to leave?
Someday. For now, Aya needs me.
So what do you do for fun around here?
The Tavatan is a popular spot for recreational activity.
Right, but what do you do? Can't work all the time.
Productivity is the best form of relaxation.
It's also a great way to get stressed out.
You sound like my brothers. All 10 of them.
10?
And 8 sisters. They're not allowed to bother me at work.
10 brothers and 8 sisters. You have a big family.
I've always thought of it as average. How many siblings do you have?
A brother, Scott.
What happened to the others?
Our parents only had 2 children. Underachievers.
That sounds relaxing. When my family gets together, the noise is like standing next to our largest waterfall. My mother says I became governor so people would have to listen to me.
Is she right?
Always.
What's it like being responsible for a whole planet?
I suspect it's like being the Pathfinder. Some days it's a burden. Most of the time, I know I'm where I should be.
How did you become governor? Do your people elect leaders by popular vote?
If by vote, you mean argue loudly until one candidate remains, then yes. I got here because I was willing to endure and fight for the obligations that come with my office.
Is there time in your busy schedule to meet someone special?
Everyone is special to me, in their own way.
Not what I meant.
Oh. No, that isn't a priority right now. Someday, maybe.
I sense tension between your government and the Resistance. Who's actually in charge?
Ephra likes giving orders, right until the actual work of running a city starts. The Resistance is good at protecting us from the Ket, but our people need more. I've learned to indulge Ephra's need for control, just often enough to maintain my own.
Thanks for your time.
Ishare, Pathfinder.
When you have a Pathfinder, This is a tremendous honor. I must express my admiration for all you've done. Crossing the void between galaxies, navigating the Scourge to find Aya. Incredible.
The odds were against us, that's for sure.
Yet here we are, strangers from different galaxies conversing in friendship. Extraordinary. I am Mariko Darej, Chief Voneron.
A Voneron? That's very... I don't know what.
Ah, linguistics, not my strength. I am a celestial observer, charting the movements of stars, planets, and the Scourge.
An astronomer. You know the safe routes out there?
We deploy satellites that alert us to new hazards and opportunities. But we've lost contact with several key observers. They've simply stopped. I sent a vessel to scan their last known locations, but nothing's been found. Your Tempest is highly advanced. I hoped you could aid our search.
Even Pathfinders need a good map. I'll look into it.
I knew you'd understand. I'll provide search nav points. And when I can finally reconcile our charts with fresh satellite data, I'll gladly share all we have.
Honor to meet you, Pathfinder. Initiative Pilot Marixus. I run supplies to your outposts.
What brings you to Aya?
Your survival supplies only Aya has. I'm waiting on clearance to enter the city, but it's taking too long. I understand their caution, but the outposts need these supplies. I have to get them, now.
They let me into the city. I can help.
I appreciate that. To start, EOS needs a way to produce food to support population growth. They've requested Kiloa seeds to begin their own crops. There's an agricultural scientist who might sell some.
I'll make sure to get those seeds.
Giles said he wanted to see you.
I found that plant you wanted.
Great. I'll give the recipe a try when I'm off duty. I've already got ideas for how to jazz it up. And I'll keep working on Mr. I don't like movie nights here to come along.
I like them. Just not when Gil is glowering at me.
Hey, Joel. Didn't mean to scare you.
What? I'm not scared. 1 second.
What's going on in here? You look busy.
If I'm busy, my mind is occupied with whatever I'm working on, rather than worrying.
Whatever gets you through.
I'd like your advice on something. I'm making gifts for everyone. I have a list.
Gifts?
Do Turians like poetry? For Vetra, I'm writing a poem and engraving it on... I'm not sure yet.
Who doesn't like a personalized poem?
Great. Maybe I could just recite it for her.
Make sure I'm there for that.
Liam seems to like my Rofgin. I might sew him one.
He does?
Do Krogan like knives? I could craft a ceremonial Angaran dagger for Drac.
Who wouldn't want that?
It's mainly decorative. Would you like one?
Joel, this is a lot of work. What's really going on?
I'm sure that I seem confident and skilled to you, but I'm not. Or I don't feel like I am.
I feel like that a lot.
Good to know. Yes, thanks for sharing that.
Just be yourself.
My family is well known. Our lineage is respected, and many of my kin have achieved great things. I've never been one of them. So many older siblings and cousins who succeeded at everything. I stopped trying to keep up.
Right.
Thanks for listening.
You're not in anyone's shadow here. I believe in you.
Suvi. Gotta love her, but those green snack things she's making for Liam's movie night? Let's just say they're probably better suited to throwing at the screen.
You've got a better idea?
Yeah, actually. Cora lent me an initiative access code so I could track down some contraband. Long story short, someone on Kadara Port has popcorn. And Graxon, which is like your popcorn, only better because I can eat it.
Smuggling is unacceptable. We should claim that contraband and destroy it.
Salt it. I hear that's good for evidence. Thanks. It'll be nice to have a treat out here, you know?